Good morning to everyone. Before to start, I would like to ask you something. Have you ever stopped to think about how the international law has been a tool from the great powers and North countries to dominate the third world countries? So after that, I would like to present myself. My name is Marlon. I'm a student of the master degree program in international relations from Universidade Federal de Santa Maria. And this is the article I'm going to present you today. So the name of the article is the Bibliometric Research of the Production Third World Approach to International Law. That one was wrote with my mentor, Ademar Posati Jr., and that one is one step of my dissertation. So the objective of this paper is to make a bibliometric review of the academic productions on third world approach to international law. The research problem is how its epistemological field developed between 2000 and 2022. The hypothesis is the third world approach to international law had considerable increase in recent years. However, the intellectual production and disclosure remain bounded by traditional European research centers and journals. So the specific objectives is preliminary to conduct a bibliometric survey of publications on TWAIL between these years. After that is briefly present a concept of international law and identify the main authors, journals, and platforms of publications. The methodology you adopt is the qualitative, quantitative, using content analysis for the systematization and interpretation of the material collected and selected from TWAIL's theoretical output. The search tool will opt for the search in secondary source, consulting articles and sources primers through the elaboration of tables and graphs of the collected material. The article, to achieve the main goals we have, the article structure adopt two sections. The first one is the work conducts a bibliographic survey using the publisher parachute based on the Google Scholar platform using the word TWAIL as a reference term. The second section, we have a survey and tabulation of the main studies we carry out to identify the outstanding authors, journals, in which they are published and publication platforms. In the first section, we have a brief bibliographic review. So for Pahuja and Slava, the international law evolution is a specific European vocabulary of progress and modernity, along with the idea of humanity and civilization, became the pillars of an international order and the benchmarks by which to assess colonial subjects. For Kennedy Mickelson, we have the new approach to third world legal study was held at the Harvard Law School in March 97. So the first attempt to build a new theory concept about the international law was held previously in Harvard University, when they decided to bring many researchers from third world countries to help to understand how the international law maybe was used for the great powers to dominate and to conquer the other countries. For Macau Mutua, in a presentation in the year of 2000 in the American Society of International Law, he gave a speech and he started his speech saying the regime of international law is illegitimate. It's a predatory system that legitimizes, reproduces, and sustains the plunder and subordination of the third world by the East. And he said that was not a new movement, but that one began in 1955 as the Bandung Conference bring together many third world cultures to think about how how they gonna how they gonna change this domination from the last centuries. So for him, it's like the third world approach, like a political act, and we have three main objectives. First one of them is to understand this one truth and unpack the use of international law. Second is to construct and present an alternative normative legal edifice for international governance to eradicate the conditions of underdevelopment in the third world. For Slaven Pahuj, in another article in 2001, they say to advance TWAIL's avoidedly political agenda and to develop a practice of universality throughout of trade scholarship, it's therefore important to sharpen the attention we pay to these dimensions by incorporating an explicit and particular methodological turn into the TWAIL projects. So after this brief bibliographic review, we have the second section of the article where you have the bibliometric research on the production on TWAIL. So this research was, we use the Google databases, where you use the publisher parish software, then perform a production analysis using a parameters for the organization into sections. The first one with the analysis of the texts of great impact assessment, and after the comparison with the production of lesser impact in recent years. Why did you decide to use the bibliometric review? Like Kobo says, is one approach for detecting, quantify, and visualizing the evolution of a research field. The first results we had was 231 documents, where we first made a sorting of these documents. So after we clean the documents, we stay with 93 documents. And that is the graph one, is the publications about TWAIL over time. Like you can see in the year 2000, we have that seminal article from Macau Mutua, the debates in International Society, American Society of International Law. And after that, we have three important years, 2008, 2016, and 2020. In 2008, from this 10 article published, 8 of them was published in the American Journal of International Law. This is the table one, the main authors and publication. As you can see, the principal author was Macau Mutua with the article "What is TWAIL?" with 433 citations, and after that we have the graph two, where the magazines with the highest number of publications on TWAIL. In these ones, I need to clarify, you didn't use all the articles. You decide to choose that one who had at least 2 articles published about TWAIL. So we have these journals here. The main magazines was the International Community Law Review, the American with 12 articles, the American Journal of International Law with 6 articles, and the Trade Law and Development with 5 articles. The graph 3 is the data publication platform. The high online is the main one with 28 articles, the Brill with 20, and Cambridge platform with 15. The conclusions we achieve is the findings reveal that first of all, the research on TWAIL has increased in recent years, not so much, but we have a little increase in the last years. Second one is the intellectual production and its dissemination are still delimited by traditional global centers and journals. Nonetheless, an interesting aspect is that the publication in this debate come from the author's work from the third world. You can think that, well, that is not like a big discover or results, but almost all the productions we have in the international law came from the global north. So they try to unpack, these authors from the third world are trying to unpack this distortion vision about the international law. So that's it, and thank you very much for your attention.